many of you would have received a message earlier this year while we were planning this, asking about your hacks, little techniques and ways of fixing little problems and improving your experience in the field. And a couple came forward and we wanted to share a couple things that our members have shared with us, and also have a conversation with the rest of you about ideas that you have of things that that work for you. So I'm going to just introduce the two individuals who are going to lead this, and I actually have videos to share. They submitted videos. The first person is Deborah Paige Jackson, who is a longtime member of Plein Air Painters Chicago and a member of the planning committee that helped put this event together, who I always like to call Deborah, because that's how she signs her paintings, and I wish I had a witty way to do mine. But she is been very involved. Yes, and she likes to paint people from her daily life, figures, portraits, animals, landscapes, still lifes, and she says her goal is to add some enlightenment to the people who view it. So she's going to enlighten us in this session on her use of Canva to as a tool for creating social media posts about art. And then we also have Sue Whitney, who again is a well-known local artist and a member of our of the Plein Air Painters. And Sue is an oil painter and considers herself a realistic impressionist. And she likes to capture the light effect while creating tension using color or temperature contrasts. Her subjects are varied from landscape, flowers, still lifes, and portraiture. And what she's going to share with us is some things that she has done with her palette to allow herself to have better access to her paints. So what we're going to do first, though, is we're going to start with Deborah, and we're going to show her video and then ask her to comment on it for a few moments. Then we're going to show Sue's video, ask her to comment, and then Sue is going to open up conversation to answer your questions about what they've presented, and also get your own hacks and ideas. Okay, so let's start first with showing Deborah's video. Eileen has got those queued up. Okay.
Hello, fellow artists. Deborah Paige Jackson here. In this short presentation, I'd like to introduce you to and tell you a little bit about an online design publishing tool called Canva, or what is Canva and why you should be using it. First, a little history. Canva is an online design and publishing tool founded in Sydney, Australia, and launched in 2013. This graphic design platform is used to create social media graphics, presentations, posters, documents, and other visual content. The app includes templates for users. The platform is free to use but offers paid subscriptions such as Canva Pro and Canva for Enterprise for additional functionality. What are the benefits? Did I say it was free and user-friendly? Also, it offers what they call elements, otherwise known as lines and shapes, graphics, photos, videos, charts, tables, frames and grids for photos, and many other built-in features. Now for the fun part. Canva has many design options for your design needs, such as Facebook posts and covers, Instagram, Twitter, and etc. Choosing these design options will adjust the dimensions for you. There are many different templates depending on your design preference. Next, we'll talk about background options, and there are many. Here is where you can use your creativity. After you choose your design type and template, choosing one of the background options, landscapes, patterns, textures, food, abstract, or your own. You can add stickers, animated elements, charts, grids, gradients, graphic elements, or illustrations, and use keywords to find other cool elements. There are a ton of font options to make your design sing. Canva makes it easy to choose the right font based on your needs in the text panel. If you're feeling really creative, check out the music and video options with free sound, videos, backgrounds. Simply click on an audio, find the sound you like, and double-click on it to place it in your Canva creation. If all of this sounds complicated or just too good to be true, go to canva.com website to find a step-by-step guide to designing from scratch. While I've enjoyed sharing this information, it is by no means meant to be a tutorial. Finally, I've added a few of my own designs that I created after just a few quick lessons. For our member show, a Facebook cover for the Uncommon Ground fundraiser for Care for Real, and finally, Plein Painter Chicago's paint out dates, times, and locations. I hope you will explore this online tool, as I am happy to have shared the benefits of it. I'm just loving Canva, and you will too. Thanks for your time.
That was great. I love that you had your little visual down in the corner of you speaking, Deborah. That was wonderful.
Yes, and that's one of the perks of one of the benefits of using Canva. You can, I actually created that slide presentation in Canva, so it's really a wonderful tool to use just to promote your artwork and to promote Plein painters as well, if you like. I do have a graphic background, but I found Canva to be just so user-friendly. And I kind of stumbled into using Canva because Mary asked Ray Vicek, who gave me like a 2-day tutorial to take his place in creating the dates, creating the memes and the Facebook covers and Instagram covers to show where we're going to be meeting for our next paint outs. So it's been very useful to, just to be able to use that. There's so much that you can do in Canva if you just go in there and search around and just try it out. And it's very easy.
Do you do, you're beyond the free version, right? You have a subscription, or what level?
I do have a subscription. I kind of got, talked into that by Mary as well. And so I have that subscription, but you don't really need a subscription. You can, you don't need to have that. There's so many design elements and so many graphic design backgrounds and just so much to use that's free that you don't really even need to pay for it. The paid subscription helps you to navigate a little bit better from your design into Instagram and, taking it from your design to Instagram and your design to your social media platforms.
I'm going to hold on some additional questions for you, Deborah, and go to Sue, and then we'll come back and get more questions from everyone. So let's play Sue's video.
Hi, my name is Sue Whitney. Are you tired of throwing away dried old paint? I've always felt it was important to have a simple way to save my unused paints for the next session. Recently, I've been looking for a smaller and lighter weight easel to carry in a more standard size backpack, unlike my day tripper, which does not fit in one now. That way I can transport my gear using carry-on luggage only when I travel by air. Recently, my brother built Stephanie Widener's clamshell easel for me, but I have made one important addition that I think is useful and I want to share with you. I like a lot of mixing space, so I adapted a fold-out panel at the side of the easel onto which I can squeeze out my paint. This leaves a full 9x12 area for mixing, but the key uniqueness in this addition is that it is removable using take-apart hinges screwed on the edge. This hinge allows me to lift it out with no loose parts. It also has half-inch spacers that allow for a flat plexiglass cover. Now I'll show you. I put on the lid and proceed to put rubber bands around it, put it in the freezer for safekeeping. I originally designed this pop-out paint panel for use in my day tripper, where I put it on the first third of the day tripper and had a complementary plexiglass piece that it butted up against so that it will hold it in place. I simply used a piece of tape so that I could remove it when required. I hope this simple process of paint panel palette remover enables you to find something that can save your paint and add to some of your lightweight gear that might be useful. Thank you.
Thank you. That was great. So, Sue, I'd like to ask you to just add a few comments here about how you arrived at this and other issues that relate to this hack.
Sure. So oftentimes I really enjoy painting and on location where I travel, and I still travel a fair amount. So it's important to have gear that you can put in an airplane and take with you. And I've always been adverse to putting it in my checked luggage because when I get there, I want my paints there. I feel the same about my luggage in general. So I've always traveled with carry-on only. Only in a 1-month trip do I carry more than carry-on. I've even done carry-on for 3 weeks. So it's critical to get small gear, compact packing, etc. And so that was part of the drive to even look for the small pochade box in the first place. So, but the problem is when you get there and you paint, you really want to have space in your palette so you can mix. So having this add out wing is probably not so unique, but what's unique about it is I can pull it out as a tiny piece with no extra parts and put it in a freezer and keep that paint so that if I have to go a week without painting, my paint isn't dry by the time I start up again. So those are the two facets. The key is the lightness and carryability and the ability to not have your paints dry if it takes you a week before you're plein air painting again. So that's really it.
Well, lots of questions are coming in for both of you right now. So maybe before we go to everybody else's hacks, we could answer some of those questions. First, for Deb, what format do you save your Canva files in? Is it a JPEG? What is it?
It's usually saved in a PNG file, but you can also convert it very easily.
Okay.
The PNG allows you to transfer it over to the social media.
More easily? Is it more?
Mm-hmm.
Is it easier?
Yeah,
with
more
PNG?
easily.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And then there's a lot of questions about carry-on paint. I'm surprised to hear you say you can carry it on. Can you explain a little bit more about that?
Sure. I have pulled off of the Gamlin site information that says this is something to the effect that it's safe for travel in an airplane. So there's not a problem with carrying. Most oil paints are made out of like saffron or some things that aren't really flammable. And I don't know in detail, but I know that I can get that information from Gamlin. And I've been told that by other professional artists. So I can carry that on. I have to put it in a 911 bag or a 311 bag, sorry. So it has to fit inside a 311 bag. And that's the only liquid I can carry on when I travel, right? So that I usually squeeze tubes and take tubes that I've, gotten at least 3/4 finished and have them in small pieces so that I can carry the essential colors. And you have to bear down to the essential colors. Plus you have to carry either some medium like walnut oil or have some source at your destination. I don't know if that answers the question.
That's a good answer. I just assumed you couldn't take tubes at all.
You
You're saying
can.
You can.
You can also buy the small tubes too, which I do sometimes.
Okay. Another question is, how long does the paint take to thaw after it's been in the freezer?
Less than a half hour.
Okay.
Unless you have big globs, it might be different, but what I have is less than a half hour.
And people are looking for sources for your palette and your pochade box.
Okay, so the pochade box was Stephanie Widener's design that was described last year. Probably still has access to it online in our website. But the important thing that somebody else asked me a question on earlier was where did I get that hardware to make that little flip outside? And I can tell you, maybe we can get it online somewhere, but it was from hardware source SKU number 350050. Also, my brother has offered, he said, if somebody wants me to build it, I will do it for a price somewhere around $100, something like that.
Can you give me that SKU again? I'm putting it in the chat.
Sure.
People.
It's SKU number 350050 from Hardware Source online. Well, Hardware Source is the name and we got it online.
Okay.
I'll give my husband credit for that.
Okay, excellent. And then, so where did you get your palette and your pochade box for?
Well, that was Stephanie Widener's design and it's on our website already pretty much from last year. She presented it online. So it's clamshell. You can buy the clamshells from Dick Blick and Basic Hardware. The whole design is online.
So one of the members just mentioned that the paint doesn't really freeze and that it gets cold, a little more stiff, but it doesn't harm the paint. Is that your experience?
Correct. I don't notice any change in it at all. And it may not really freeze. I don't really know, but it's cold and it comes out thawed just great to use.
Your hack is getting a lot of people coming up with similar ideas. Another person said they use the refrigerator as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the nice thing about my design is it's very, very flat and it's so easy to put in a freezer. You don't really have a problem with the space that it takes.
Great. Okay, so there are actually some people bringing up other issues, Sue, in the chat, and perhaps we want to hear from them as well.
Sure.
Sue Edelstein, would you like to, can we spotlight you and bring you into the conversation about backpacks?
Sure. Do you see me?
Yes.
Hi. Do you want to know what I'm asking?
Well, and it sounded like you had some information about what you're researching that you'd like to share.
Well, it's become an obsession and a kind of an occupation lately, researching backpacks. I have one that I've used in the past, but it just isn't fitting my body well enough. So if I'm going to travel, which I am this year, and I need it to be a carry-on, and if I'm going to go off on trails and go, a distance to walk, I needed to feel really good on my body because I weighed my pack, and it's at least right now just the bare minimal of the pochade, the tripod, and the paints, minimal paints. It's like 17, 18 pounds. So I know it'll be like around 20 or even maybe more.
Way too much.
It is way too much. I know. I don't know how to downsize it because it's just the minimal stuff. And my pochade is so light. anyway, I just want to know. So I've been researching. I've seen Kelties and Ospreys. I have written to so many artists. I know what Laurie Putnam uses. I know what Susie Baker uses. There's Kelties. There's brand, certain models that are not in existence anymore. So I've been asking. I wrote to Streamline. I've written to everyone to say, can you take a poll? What have people used? Which brand, which size? Is it a 30 liter or 40 liter? And I know it's all going to be different. Everybody's going to, do what's right for their personal preference and needs. So that's kind of my question.
I think what's important is figure out what each element of your painting is comprised of. In other words, how much is your tripod weight? That's probably one of the biggies.
Almost like two point something pounds.
Right.
Yeah.
So you need to find a lightweight tripod. You're going to have compromises. You're going to have to get lighter tripod, but maybe it can't hold an umbrella for shade, which is what I'm choosing to do in this lighter weight version that I'm using with Stephanie's design. I think look at how many brushes you carry. Look at how many paint tubes. Get paint tubes that are like 1/4 the size of a full tank size, or else go to the limited palette. All these elements that you are carrying, look at every one and just throw out 30% of it.
Yeah, I mean, I've eliminated tubes of paint and I'm just in a little box with dried gouache in it, right? You just, taking out waterable paints.
And then look at the backpack, because I know backpacks vary a lot, and some of the cheapest, crappiest backpacks are what are the lightest. So if you're getting a good backpack, you're paying for a lot of containers and spaces and all those liners in there that are taking up a lot of extra space. So get a cheap one. I got mine at House of Hope. It's a resale shop. The one I'm using for the lightweight pochade right at the moment. And but anyway, I use it for different purposes, but it's a crappy little backpack, but it fits everything fine and it's light. And Stephanie was giving me a thumbs up. Maybe she's got something to add on that too. Unmute.
I think my favorite backpack was, I got it for free from Sierra Club, and it was just one layer thick and it was very thin. I agree with that.
So look at all the elements that you're weighing, every single thing, and see where the big problem is, and then attack it.
Okay.
Nancy King also had an interesting suggestion. Nancy, do you want to tell us what you posted?
Sure. I travel a lot by air and to different terrains, and I found a trolley dolly on Amazon that everything fits into. I have one for oil and one for pastel, and it fits an overhead bin in a plane. And I usually check my tripod in my checked luggage just to cut down on the weight, but I don't want my pastels to be mishandled, so they go in the trolley dolly, and I just put it in overhead, and it's great. And I was backpacking with my pastels in Peru and threw out my rotator cuff from the backpack. So I've been using the trolley dolly for a long time, and it, I used it in Venice with all those steps, and I've used it on the beach in Florida. It's really great. And the handle will fold down, and only one time, it was a packed flight. Only one time did I have to fold down that handle. So
Cool.
Thanks, guys.
Sue, did you have anything else you wanted to raise?
Well, if anybody has any ideas on how to have your paintbrushes lying on the side of your palette, that they don't fall off, I'm interested in those ideas if somebody's got some. Even on my Joshua Bean, I am not fond of it because they tend to roll off too much. But that's maybe a topic for another time.
I have the Sienna system, and I actually sell the Sienna system, and it has notches on the little side tray. So you can see the Sienna system on my website. There's a palette box that has the glass in it. I often, when I'm doing like a plein air competition and I want to work in both mediums and I want to cut down on my gear, I can put a level of pastels below, foam on top, the glass on top of that, so I can use the one setup for both.
Wow.
both operations. And it does have the little grooves for the brushes.
How many I mean, I have tried something like that myself, having a homemade one, but about how many grooves does it have in it?
It's not a homemade one. It's, I've got pictures of it, just a second.
While she's looking, Amanda has also a hack. Amanda Stenlund, do you want to tell us about your hack, Amanda?
Hi there. Yes, so I use a one of these stretchy headbands that goes all the way around your head. And it's just the right tension to hold things when I put it around the wing of my panel, my palette.
And you slide the handles under the headband?
Yes, yes. I don't have it on me or I would show you, but yeah.
Okay, that's
It's
okay.
a headband.
Yeah, I just got it at Walgreens.
It's
They
like
come in a pack.
yeah, stretchy ones, right?
Yeah, and they're
Not
like, and it goes all the way around the head. You know, it's not
So like when you're
Just over the-
exercising, something you'd put on to.
exactly.
Okay.
Yes,
So
That's
Nancy,
a good idea.
like
Yeah,
a
you
large
wanted-
rubber band.
You
You wanted to show us this. Go ahead, please.
You can see this on my website under teaching and products, but there's 7 notches in each wing of this that, you know, folds out this way. That's the palette box for oil, but I do also use it for pastel. And then there's a pastel box that has a side arm and it has about 7, I think. So 14 on the oil and 7 on the pastel.
Okay, that's pretty good because you need to have enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That's good.
sure.
And Kirsten said she has something, she uses a tube that she clips on her easel box. Kirsten, would you like to add anything to that?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yep.
I can't see myself, so I have no idea what I look like right now. But they make these plastic tubes. And the ones that I use the knife and put a hole.
Do you
And-
have an example? Are you showing them to us? Yes. Okay.
You're not.
Eileen, can
I
you
see you.
spotlight her? Can you
What is
spotlight
her name? What is her name?
Kirsten.
Nalishevsky.
Kirsten.
Kirsten.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm really self-conscious because I can't see myself. I don't know whether my head is.
You look great. You still look great. We see you.
Okay, so I think Blick had these that are tubes to carry your brushes in, right? And I take this apart and take a knife and put a hole. And then in my pochette box, I just have a screw somewhere and I hang it on there. And that's where it goes. And then when you leave, you can cover it up and it doesn't mess up your backpack. And it's very light.
It's a matter of having a
Is she
screw to screw it
visible?
into.
I can't see her.
I cannot find her name. What? How do you spell her name? It's not coming up.
Kerstin. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
So you have to have a screw to do that with. That's the key. You
There
gotta
she
have
is.
some loose.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
somewhere
hold it
on
up again. Kirsten, hold it up again.
Can you
Yeah.
see
But
it?
I
now?
mean, it's a matter of where she attaches it to her pochette box is part of the question.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you have to have a wing screw or something that it goes on
You
to.
just a regular screw. Doesn't have to be winged.
So you screwed it in yourself to the pochette box?
No, I actually bought it. It's a Kota easel.
Okay,
And the Kota easels actually have the screw in there.
okay.
But this is a lot lighter than what the Kota easel is using. The Kota easel uses PVC tube. It's
Okay.
really heavy.
Which is heavier. That
And
gets
this is
heavier.
very light and it has a lid.
Okay,
I'm sure that you can get this. I've seen it at Blick in small,
okay.
but I think online you can get these in big. They come even in bigger, like double this size. They come in really big.
Yeah, I don't need it that big.
No,
But-
and they come in smaller than that too. It's what I
Alright,
could
thanks.
grab is.
Good tip. Thanks.
So there are some more posts in the chat with actual names of products. So the brush grip paintbrush holder and drying rack caddy from Amazon was mentioned. Also, L-like acrylic brackets made by the gal that used to sell Best Brella. I don't know Best Brella. Do you? So look for the Best Brella website. Okay, that came out. Kirsten, there's a question. What are those tubes called again, specifically?
So they come in different brands, but this one is from Rumold, R-U-M-O-L-D.
I'm sorry, spell it again.
R-U-M-O-L-D. And I bought this particular one in Germany, but I have seen them here.
Okay.
So I'm not sure what they're called here, but I've seen them, at least the small version, Blick has it.
Okay, all right.
The big versions, I don't know.
Great. And then Amy Hauser, it's a plein air umbrella that had a great bracket. Can you share about that? Amy Hauser, are you with us? Maybe she's muted.
Probably muted.
Okay. Oh, the
Hi,
best.
I'm here.
Okay, great.
So Best Umbrella is a plein air umbrella that you can no longer get.
Oh.
Here, I'll start my video. I look terrible, thank you. Good morning.
But we, hi.
But on her website, because I went looking for the umbrella, which I can't get, but on her website, she also has this contraption that's a clear plastic acrylic tube, and it's like an small L bracket of acrylic that you can load your palette of colors on, all your paints, and then you can slip it in this tube and it won't bump into the round part because it's stuck on the L part. And then you put, I think there's a caps for the end, and you can use that for travel, or put them in the freezer if you're looking for more lightweight and more space. So just another idea. She is going to continue making and selling those, even though she's not doing the Best Brella anymore. But I found it by looking up Best Brella. I just Googled it.
Okay. And
Thank
somebody called it the Paint Garage. Is that a separate
I
product?
think that's it. Yeah,
I've heard of it.
Okay.
there you go. Yeah,
Okay.
awesome.
All right. Well, we're getting towards the end of this session. I just want to, if there's any last, one more question. Can you recommend an umbrella, given that you can't get Best Brella?
Well, Amy Erickson, I was at her workshop with 3 other painters, plein air in Scottsdale, and she had a Best Brella, so of course I had to go looking for that. I have not found something that I like, so everybody has an opinion. And I live in a windy area, so I'm kind of like deciding I'm just going to use a hat with a wide brim and tie it to my head.
Much lighter.
You know, it's going to take over whatever I attach it to, or take over itself, unless you stake it down, and I'm not out there to set up a tent. So
Great.